Beautiful day today. It snowed a little bit and rained hard again last night, but turned off pretty nice so far today. It's supposed to rain some more today. Getting ready to go out for my second flight of the season, back down to Ernst Sound again, looking for herring. We got the airplane all ready. I've been sitting here waiting for my rider. But here's the hangar. It's Petersburg Flying Service. Used to be Pacific Wing. So he's putting a new engine, overhauled engine on the Beaver. This is what it looks like without an engine. Don't fly very fast like that. Oh, here's the new overhauled engine, not new, overhauled engine. They haven't made these engines new for 40 years or 50 years, something like that. It's a Pratt & Whitney R985, 450 horsepower, 9 cylinders. There's the engine that come off of it. We've got to swap some of the stuff off of that one onto the new one. And get it mounted up, get ready for a new season. This is a propeller, 3-bladed Hartzell propeller. Anyhow, it'll be good. He'll have a nice new engine. He just had the airplane all stripped down and inspected, a non-destructive inspection, eddy current inspection and things like that on some of the main structure, and pretty nice. Have my riders here, so I guess I better get going before he takes off without me. I'm getting ready to go out on my third Ernst Sound herring survey of the season. It's Sunday, April 23rd. Well, I've gone down and started pre-flight in the airplane. I just got it running, warming up right now. Just getting ready to go do an engine check. And then we'll finish pre-flighting it, take it over to the dock, fuel it up, and we'll be ready to go. I've got Tom all loaded up in the airplane, and we're going to go ahead and taxi on out here and take off, go south down to Ernst Sound and do the third herring survey of the season. Well, as usual, I'm going to taxi out of the seaplane base here and then down the Narrows for a little ways to warm the engine up, and we'll take off towards the northeast and circle back around and head south down the Wrangell Narrows. Well, this area down here in Ernst Sound has had significant herring spawn in the past, but it's been depleted over the years, and most of that is because of predation and just natural factors, not because of overfishing. The fishery that they had down there before was a pound fishery, and that's where they would go catch the fish in a net and bring them over and turn them loose in an enclosure that introduced kelp into the enclosure, and then the fish would spawn on the kelp. And once the fish spawned, they would be turned loose to go out on their merry way. Oh, the fishing game is pretty good about figuring out how many fish they can harvest in an area without hurting it, but wildlife, the sea lions and the surf scooters and whales and things like that, they're not necessarily so judicious about how much of the harvest they take. So anyway, I'm taxiing down to the west here right now, and we'll go down here and warm the engine up, turn around and take off. And it turned out to be a nice day here today. It was almost blue sky here when we took off, and we did get down and we did get into some more rain showers, and there was rain coming. By the time we got back, it was raining pretty hard here in town, and had quite a few showers. And the weather wasn't too bad, though. It was perfectly flyable and actually a pretty nice day. Oh, the trip takes about an hour to get down there to where we're going, and then a half hour, well, probably about 50 minutes or so to get down where we're going, and then 45 minutes or so like that around to survey the area, and then the same amount of time to come back. So it's about a 2.5 hour trip. And of course, the camera only records about 45, 50 minutes or something like that. So that would be pretty boring to have that whole flight here on this one video. So I'll chop it up a little bit and speed it up in places, and we'll go for a little ride. I got a radio report that Alaska Airlines Flight 65, a 737, was on its way between Wrangell and Petersburg. They said they were about 23 miles south of Petersburg, and this is their route where they come into town here. So I'm going to stay pretty close over here on the left-hand side next to the mountains, climb out and keep an eye out for them. When they said they were 23 miles out, I expected to run into them pretty quickly, but it turned out that we didn't meet up with them until we were quite a ways down here. So they obviously weren't 23 miles out when they called. But anyway, I was watching out for them, and I was trying to stay out of their pathway. That's why I stay over here as far to the left as I can. And we're over Mitkoff Island, actually flying along Mitkoff Highway right now. Straight underneath us is the AML facility. That's where the freight and everything comes in. And then we got a couple of rock pits here up on the left-hand side. That's where we get some of the rock in the driveway that I plowed up here just a day later than this. Anyway, we're heading south down the Wrangell Narrows, and then we're going to go through the Blind Slough and on south down to Ernst Sound. I'll kick in the turbo boost here and speed things up a little bit. I think this is 8 times faster than what we actually fly. I guess I better speed it up a little bit more if we're going to get home today. Kick it up to 16 times. So this is where we actually met the Alaska Airlines flight. He was well to the left or the right of us and well above us. We were out of his way, but he was quite a bit farther down here than I expected to see him. We're coming across the south end of Mitkoff Island now into Sumner Straits. We got Zarimbo Island on the far right, and then Vank Island. Just to the right of the nose is Sokolov Island, and then Renda Island, Gray's Island. Straight ahead of us is Wrangell. We're going to head just to the south of Wrangell and then follow the shoreline down Zimovia Straits looking for any sign of any fish here. We're going to hit the shoreline here just south of the city part of Wrangell. It's still Wrangell down here along the highway. We're going to be looking for any sign of any herring spawn. Herring are pretty obvious. They leave a big white area in the water. Looks like somebody dumped a million gallons of milk in the water. And then there's also a sign with lots of birds, lots of sea lion activity, and sometimes some whales. So that's what we're looking for here now. Well, this is going to be the last segment of the video that was recorded for this trip, so I'll slow it down to 2 times the speed so that we're only going 180 miles an hour instead of 1,000 miles an hour. Coming up on Tom's Place here just ahead of us. That's kind of a homestead area, place where the state sold land, and a lot of people moved out here to be outside, kind of like a Port Protection East, if you've ever watched Port Protection TV show, which I never have. Coming out of the end of Zimovia Straits now, the end of Wrangel Island, south end of Wrangel Island is there on the left. QU Island is there on the right. Straight ahead of us, just about dead center of the camera, is Deer Island, and to the left there is a Cleveland Peninsula, the mainland. And this is coming into the east end of Ernst Sound. We did see some spawn a couple days ago over on, well, just about straight up in front of where the nose of the airplane is right now, the propeller spinner is right now. There was spawn over there a few days ago. We're going to head over that way and fly along that shoreline, and then down, that's called Seward Passage there between Deer Island and the Cleveland Peninsula. We're going to fly through that, and then all the way around the outer portion of Ernst Sound. But the video ends right here, so this is as far as I can take you today.